You're listening to Health Coach Conversations, a podcast where our conversations help health coaches all around the world to level up our businesses and to get more clients. Hello and welcome. I am with Allison Jackson today. She's the founder of Allison Jackson Fitness, where she helps high-performing professionals prioritize their health through nutrition, movement, and mindfulness. She's a certified nutrition coach, personal trainer, yoga instructor, sound healer, and Pro Masters figure competitor. As a fractional chief well-being officer, her passion lies in helping others learn how to embrace wellness as a speaker for women's retreats, trade organizations, and corporate groups. She is also the host of the Fit to Lead podcast and author of the book, Flab to Fab in 8 Weeks. Connect with her on LinkedIn, follow her on social media, and learn more at her website. We will have them listed below the podcast notes. First of all, could you share a little bit about your journey to where you are now and how things evolved that you would be a chief well-being officer?
Sure. So I've had a lifelong affinity for fitness. I played field hockey in high school and college. I ran marathons, triathlons, all that good stuff. I was always into working out, ended up getting involved in competitive bodybuilding. And at the same time, I was in a corporate job. I was in corporate communications. So I started competing in bodybuilding. I ended up, I would say my business found me. I was a nutrition and fitness coach to help other women lose weight and try to, get fit. And I've always done that on the side, was working. And then, I left my one corporate job, went to another, which was a fintech startup, which was very risky. And lo and behold, I was laid off from that job earlier this year. And I was like, all right, you know what? Wellness has always been a side hustle off the side of my desk thing. Let's put that at the forefront and see what happens. So it's been awesome and so much fun to actually take what I learned while I was in corporate, because I did do a lot of different things with wellness at that time, and really take it and be able to consult and advise companies of either how to enhance and build a better wellness program or create one from scratch if there's not one already there. So it's been awesome.
So you know that lifting heavy weights isn't bad for girls, right?
Yes, it's music to my ears. Music to my ears. I always said that is the fountain of youth. That right there is the fountain of youth, weight training.
Yeah. What does it mean to be healthy from the inside out?
What it means to be healthy is you want to make sure that you have the right mindset. So if you're eating right and you're working out right, but you talk crap to yourself, like you're putting yourself down, you're not carving out time for self-care, whether that is meditation, going for walks. It's not all about getting massages and facials. It's really about taking the time to check in with yourself, make sure that you're listening to that little voice inside of you and not squashing it. That to me is true health. When you feel in alignment and you feel authentic and you're bringing your full self out to the public, that to me is true health.
Our listeners are mostly health coaches, life coaches, doctors, nurses, mental health specialists. How would you talk to them about having their customers do things from the inside out?
Yeah, I think it's really important to walk the walk and talk the talk. So if you are going to coach your clients around meditation and sitting in stillness and being mindful, that we have to make sure that we're doing that for ourselves as doctors, nurses, coaches, because it's hard to recommend something if you're not actively doing that yourself. So in addition to the healthy eating and the workouts, it's making sure that you realize the benefits and the power of meditation, of sitting in stillness, of kind of taking the time to do that for yourself. I think is going to be much more beneficial and powerful for those that you're working with.
Right. How can we ensure that we have a growth mindset? First of all, what is a growth mindset?
So a growth mindset is looking at challenges as opportunities instead of problems. So you start your day and you go to pour yourself a bowl of cereal, you spill milk everywhere. So instead of being like, oh my God, I'm so stupid, this is the worst day ever, and just letting that compound, you look at it like, oh my gosh, like who cries over spilt milk? Like try to make a joke about it. Try to say, all right, what is this teaching me? Maybe I'm not like being mindful and slowing down and taking my time to do things. It's really keeping an open mind. And again, not letting not letting those little things that might irritate you or bad things that might happen, just kind of changing the perspective and not looking at it and letting that really bring you down. So, growth mindset, it's been shown that, they're growth mindset are optimistic people, right? The pessimist is kind of the closed mindset.
Oh, and when you're going through a bad time, you need to have a growth mindset, don't you?
Yes. That's going to help you get through that bad time so much. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be less painful, right? If you kind of let it, flow off your back, like and that's, I think that is really the power of meditation is it's an emotional regulator. It's a way to help you cope and manage better. So meditation is kind of the building the brain muscle of mindfulness, which is going to help you get that growth mindset. So it is going to help you endure those tough times much easier.
So let's talk about spiritual wellness. What does it mean and why is it important to our health?
Yeah. So first, I'll say I think most people think of spirituality and immediately go to religion, and that I think they're separate. They're related, but separate. I
Mhm.
think spirituality is really your relationship with yourself and your higher self, whether you call that source, spirit, God, whatever. That there's something greater than you. So to me, spirituality is really making sure that you're listening to that inner voice. And another way to look at it is like your intuition, your gut feelings. Like if you don't feel right about something, whether it's in your gut or whether it's coming out another way in your body, that's like your true voice. That's your true inner self. So having a good relationship and having good spirituality means again checking in with yourself, um, being comfortable with your intuition, being confident in trusting your gut when you know something is off. I'll give you a great example. I had taken a job. I was working for a company. They were moving to Florida, which is kind of funny because you're in Florida. And I was like, oh no, I can't move to Florida. I need to get another job right away. And I took the first job that came along. And when I showed up on day one, I was like, oh my gosh, I made a terrible mistake. And I knew all along during the process, it just didn't feel right. But I was like, I need to do this for my family. And I ended up leaving after 6 months. I was like, I can't work here. And it's again, if I didn't listen to my gut, and I knew from the get go that that wasn't the right decision to make. It was too like rushed.
Yeah, we do a lot of things out of fear, I think, without really thinking it through or knowing, what we're giving up to go the easy what seems to be the easy way.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
it's so
really good
true. The
example.
fear and scarcity, right? And
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm not gonna have something. So you're like want to do the death grip on it. And it's like, no, just pause, just take some time and sit in it and see how it feels.
Right.
With over 40 years of business experience and serving over 1,500 clients, the Health Coach Group knows what it takes to succeed. Let our expertise and resources guide you to a thriving wellness practice. Visit thehealthcoachgroup.com today.
So how do you take care of your spiritual wellness?
So it's funny, I don't have like a set routine, but there are some things that I try to do on the regular. Meditation is one of those. I typically try to, after a workout, I'll do yoga and do a little bit of meditation afterwards. Or my other trigger is before I open my laptop, I'll meditate for a few minutes to just try to quiet the mind. 'Cause a lot of times your mind is like creating the to-do lists, thinking 10 days ahead. So it's really just kind of quieting your mind. Another thing I do is journaling. Journaling, I always call it's almost like written meditation, where you just kind of take some time, just breathe, maybe writing out what's bothering you or what you're grateful for. And a lot of times you might end up writing and coming out with like either great ideas or as a way to de-stress if something's really weighing heavily on your mind. Breath work is another one, just taking some nice deep breaths. Box breathing, which is also called 4x4, where you inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and pause there. That's another great kind of meditative way to kind of get inside your head. And then I also love, and people might think this is a little out there, but I love oracle cards. Like I probably have like 10 or 12 of them. And I love just like thinking about either a question or setting an intention and asking, what should I focus on today or what do I need to know? And just pulling a card. It's just kind of a fun way. It just is nice to kind of get that extra message, right? From whatever it is, your spirit, your guides, your guardian angels.
Very good. So you do walk the walk and talk the talk, right?
I do. I do. I always say spirituality is like wellness with a touch of woo. Like I am definitely into the woo. Another thing I love is sound healing, which I recently gotten into last year. The frequencies are aligned to certain chakras and we are 80 to 90% water. So the vibration is very like it heals you on a cellular level. It's not just like out there, woo.
You know what? We did that sound healing thing. I went to a place in Mexico called Santa Vive, and we went through these courses one after another there, and they had sound healing there, and that was pretty cool. All
Yeah.
of their meditation was different and cool. What you talk about doing, though, sounds really easy, like your 4x4. That's the kind of stuff I need that, I can just be doing something and think, oh, I need to settle down a little bit and then do it.
Yes, portable and easy, right? And you can do it anywhere.
Yes,
You can do it in the car, you can do it on a walk while you're washing dishes, like at any time. I love it.
right. Yeah. So bringing it all together, what is your daily routine? What time do you get up in the
Mm.
morning?
So I used to be a 5:30 gal. I'm like sort of more 5:45, 6 o'clock, but I usually wake up and I will go for a 30-minute walk outside as long as it's not raining. I love like just no phone, like not looking at my phone, not listening to anything, but just kind of it's almost like a meditative, mindful walk. And it's really helpful in listening to kind of, all right, what's going on inside your head. I'll do 20 minutes of weight training, usually like 10 minutes of yoga and stretching. And then typically I'm working. I'm an entrepreneur. So I have like a desk job, but I have a standing desk. So I'll usually work from like, 9 to 12. I have a dog. So I'll walk the dog at lunch, have a nice lunch, step away. I also try to mindfully eat. That's another thing. People, I think, a lot of times we eat when we're either watching TV or on the computer and we don't realize how much we're eating or what the food tastes like. So really important to mindfully eat and just eat without any distractions. Again, work till like early afternoon, walk the dog again, make dinner with my family. And I've recently become obsessed with pickleball. So I usually play pickleball like 2 or 3 times a night.
2 or 3
I,
times a night.
I know that a week. I would
Well,
love to play 2 or 3 times a night
you are dedicated.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of fun. It's supposed to, but we were talking to my husband's cardiologist, and pickleball is supposed to have been a less strenuous game than tennis, but most of the people turn it into being a lot more strenuous because they take it so
Yes.
seriously.
It's
Yeah.
so true because you're not doing that much running, but I am like I am like so sweaty when I'm done. I'm like, well, I'm clearly moving something.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely good exercise when you can sweat that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know I didn't know what all the rage was about. And I took a one-on-one clinic in December and I was like, okay, this is fun. This is
You're
really
hooked.
fun.
Yeah. You know what? It seems like everybody gets hooked on it too.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So, what are some action steps that everyone should try to incorporate into their day to improve their health?
So I would definitely say we talked a little bit about the breath work and meditation and don't feel like you don't know how to do meditation. Like if you could just sit quietly for 2 or 3 minutes, you're doing it right. And then just build from there. In terms of food, I always tell people focus on we don't eat enough protein. And as we age, we lose muscle. So focus on trying to get 100 grams of protein. And that is like the inside of your palm, like a serving at every meal and snack. And then get your fiber, which is again, whole grains, vegetables. And if people are trying to lose weight, I always say the best way to see where you're at is get a baseline and just track your food for a week. It'll open your eyes to portion sizes, what's in foods, like how much fat, carbohydrates, and protein. And then my other little health hack is try to get 10,000 steps. And anyway, like walk, run, pickleball, just track your steps and just make that concerted effort to get 8 to 10,000. Because a lot of times if you don't, we're probably getting 3 to 5,000 steps. And that's another
Yeah.
thing as we age, we move less, like we just become more sedentary as we get older.
Mhm.
So really making a concerted effort is key.
Yeah, it adds up. I walk my dog in the morning and at night, and then I go run in the swimming pool.
Ooh,
And
nice.
so that gets, so I'm at least at 10,000 every day.
Yeah.
But before in Nebraska, that was hard to do. I would walk from my bedroom to my office to the kitchen and then back to my bedroom again. And if
Yes,
I got
yes.
1,400 steps, I'd be lucky.
Oh my God. I believe it. I believe it. Because if you don't make the effort, like, where are you walking? And then during
That's
COVID,
right.
it was so bad because nobody was going anywhere.
No. You could walk though. Some people thought you shouldn't be walking, but
Yeah.
it's
Walk. Walk. It's the
walk, yeah.
best exercise you could do forever, right?
Yep. Yep, that's right. Okay, so you have a free guide for us, and we will put the link to it underneath the podcast show notes. It says 5 ways to improve your spiritual wellness. So that sounds like it'd be an easy thing to do if there's 5 steps, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's super easy. And even if you incorporate one, you are winning.
Great. Great. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today, and we appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having
You're
me.
welcome. Thanks for listening to the show. If you liked what you heard, please give us a 5-star rating or review on iTunes.